96% decline. 96% less people are coming. How many women aren't being raped? How many children aren't dying making that journey? How many women and children aren't being sex trafficked into this country every day? How many known suspected terrorists aren't just walking across that border? President Trump and this administration is saving thousands of lives every month. Hard stop. That's just a stone cold fact. I'm just proud to be a part of this. I work with Steve Miller every day. Steve Miller is one of the most brilliant people I've met in my entire life.
Donald Trump has dispatched his border czar Tom Homan to Minneapolis in order to quash tensions in the US city in the wake of recent shootings by ICE agents. The Trump administration has softened its stance now, but hopes a meeting with the city's mayor could help mediate ongoing protests. The president says he wants a full investigation into the death.
You know, we're doing a big investigation. I want to see the investigation. I'm going to be watching over it. I want a very honorable and honest investigation. I have to see it myself.
Here's Martha Kellner with more now from Minneapolis.
The major shift is Donald Trump making the decision to send his border czar, Tom Homan, to Minneapolis. He's expected to arrive in the state of Minnesota at some point today to take over from the man who is now the former Border Patrol commander, Gregory Bovino. Greg Bovino had been the face of Donald Trump's immigration blitz, very unpopular here. He was seen as being the man who led the culture of immigration agents in Minneapolis. So he was seen as having really contributed to this atmosphere of aggression from immigration agents towards people on the streets of Minnesota. And of course, he was the man who oversaw the operations which resulted ultimately in the death of 2 American citizens here. I think Greg Bovino's real downfall came in his reaction to the death of Alex Pretty. He called Alex Pretty an assassin. He said that the victims of that incident were his Border Patrol agents. Well, anyone watching those videos can tell that there is no evidence that Alex Pretty was an assassin or a domestic terrorist, or that he arrived at that scene intent on a massacre, which is what in the past the Trump administration have been claiming. Of course, we've seen that tone shift now from Donald Trump. And I'm outside the hotel where it's believed that Greg Bovino has been staying. He is expected to leave Minneapolis today and go back to his previous role, which was on the border in California. And I don't think anyone in this city will be too disappointed to see the back of him.
With regards to the deployment of Tom Homan to Minneapolis, should the deployment of Mr. Homan to Minneapolis be seen as a sign that the president is dissatisfied with how the officials on the ground had handled the incident?
No, Mr. Homan is doing an exceptional job, and he has been working with Secretary Noem and President Trump over the course of the last year. Secretary Noem still has the utmost confidence and trust of the President of the United States, and she's continuing to oversee the entire Department of Homeland Security and all of the immigration enforcement that's taking place across the whole entire country. Of course, Secretary Noem is also in charge of FEMA, and we are in the wake of a brutal winter storm where hundreds of thousands of Americans have been impacted by that. So Border Czar Homan is in a unique position to drop everything and go to Minnesota to continue having these productive conversations with state and local officials. And I know that he's catching a plane in just a few hours to do just that at the request of the president.
I had a question. With Homan now going to Minnesota, is Gregory Bovino also going to remain in Minnesota overseeing these ICE operations?
Mr. Bovino is a wonderful man, and he's a great professional. He is going to very much continue to lead Customs and Border Patrol throughout and across the country. Mr. Homan will be the main point of contact on the ground in Minneapolis.
commission continue to be focusing on illegal immigrants with a criminal history, or will it be on illegal immigration generally?
Mr. Homan will continue to enforce our nation's immigration laws, especially deporting the worst of the worst criminals in Minnesota who have committed violent offenses. And I would just remind all of you that this important work is continuing to be carried out. In just the last few days, I'm happy to provide this packet to anyone in the room. ICE has arrested multiple violent criminals, illegal aliens within Minnesota. Many of them have convictions for assault, driving under the influence, fraud.
Joining me live is former White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney. Mick, there certainly seems to be growing backlash from where I sit. Is that countrywide, though, or just limited to Minnesota?
Whether or not it's countrywide is always difficult to say, but it is broad-based. Laura, there is no question about it. The administration has been getting pounded on its handling of the Minneapolis situation, going back to the killing of Renee Good about 10 days ago. So this is a dramatic change. I thought your correspondent did a nice job of sort of laying out the history of it and the power struggles. Probably an overstatement, but there's still a lot of tension between Tom Homan, as the borders are, which is not a formal position in our government, and Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is a formal position. So what I think your correspondent missed was the specific indication from Donald Trump that Tom Homan would answer directly to the White House and bypass the Department of Homeland Security. That tells me that Donald Trump is not happy with the way things are running. I think Kristi Noem has done a pretty good job in the last 48 hours of changing her tone, but keep in mind, she did come out and call Renee Good a domestic terrorist in the minutes after her killing, and then made sort of equally aggressive statements about Mr. Pretty, who was assassinated in the video that you're seeing here now. So he's not happy. And I think there's a reason for that, because it's not being well received at all by the population.
Yeah, really interesting that you say that, because Kristi Noem and the description and the doubling down after these two shootings now, in the subsequent hours and days, more footage inevitably comes out. And what she has described, I think any reasonable person would really question.
That's exactly right. I mean, and you and I talked about this on the Good shooting 10 days ago, which is the legalities are one thing. Was the officer legally justified in discharging the weapon? Maybe we'll get an investigation, I hope, and we'll know the answer to that question. But most people don't care about that. They care about what it looks like. And it's not just the optics. It's, does it look right? Does it look fair? Does it violate some common sense? And the answer is yes. It does. When a law enforcement officer in this country shoots an unarmed civilian on his knees in the back several times, people want to sort of raise their hand and say, okay, no, that's enough. We're stopping now. You had me up until that particular point, but now it's different. So I think that the Trump administration recognizes that. Again, I thought Kristi's tone the last 40 hours was pretty good. But in this day and age, Laura, as you and I both well known, as soon as you say one thing, it's on the internet forever. So they've been struggling with some of the messaging they put out in the minutes after the shooting. And it looks like Tom Homan is going to be called in to try and fix the situation without Kristi Noem's direct involvement.